Hello, our beautiful Piedmont freedom loving customers. How are you guys today? Clicked on this video because you want to know more about the steps in getting a home loan in Piedmont, Oklahoma. And we have with us Tom Rosser of Gateway Mortgage. If anyone knows about home loans in Piedmont, Oklahoma, it's Tom. And I'm super excited that he's bringing this information to us today. Tom, say hello to the audience and tell us, is there anything new in the mortgage industry we need to know about?
Hello, audience. Josh, thank you for having me on here. Thanks for helping me bring this to this audience. Something new in the mortgage industry. There was some rate matrix kind of credit score down payment changes that happened as of May 1st. It's not really new because we heard about it in January. We've been preparing for it for months, but they changed the way they price some loans. That was the big news in the mortgage industry the last couple of weeks.
Okay. Perfect. And as we're going through this process, this is more like a general outline, guys, of exactly what you need to know when you're going through the process. So you're a more educated consumer, so that you make sure that all the steps are getting taken care of in a way in which it's normally happens, especially if you're not calling Tom. If you're calling Tom, you're good to go. He's got like 6 people watching over his loans. Trust me, I know. I get emails all the time, which is a good thing. It's a great thing for you. So, Tom, first step in getting a home loan, would you say it's probably the pre-approval?
I think it's the first step. It's not always the first step people take, but I think it is the one that they should take. So, a pre-approval letter you're going to get that tells you that you're approved, that you're eligible to go make offers on a home, that you're eligible to go look at homes and make an offer on the home. So the step to a pre-approval, we always tell people there's 3 ways to do it. You can do that on the phone, right? Just 5-10 minutes, give us all the information we need. You can do that online, right, where we can send you an invitation. You can fill in all of that information online, or we love meeting people. You can always come meet with us in person, sit down, and go through the application piece of it. But to get a pre-approval letter, you go through an application, the basics of an application: 2 years of employment history, 2 years of residence history, name, social, date of birth, so that I can look at your credit report. But those are the basics. That's kind of the first step.
And when they're doing the online one, Tom, because some people work late, and they're not able to do it during a normal 9 to 5 time. When they run across a question that they don't know, do they just put NA, or what do they do in that instance on the questionnaire?
We tell them to call us, and hopefully we are available, right? So we'll give you contact information to reach us after hours. Now, there's hours we're unreachable. Midnight, we're not going to be answering the phone. So at that point, we would say, hey, you can email us those questions. I'll tell people to wing it on the application piece of it, right? And then what we'll do is, once you've filled out your application, we are going to call you to review it, and that's where we can. If you're filling it out at midnight and you can't reach anybody and you just want to get through it, we'll call you. We'll connect at some point and figure out, any questions we may have.
That's awesome. Second thing that I think is important, and Tom, you're the expert. I'm not the expert. I'm just asking you questions. Is after you fill out that pre-approval, like, don't go finance a new computer or a new entertainment center, right? Like, don't open up any new lines of credits. Would that be a valid step in the process?
That's a valid step in the process. Now, I'll tell you, it's a conversation I had today with somebody that went to Lowe's in the middle of the process, right, and financed something. But their debt ratio allowed that to happen. So really, all it created was a few more hoops for that home buyer to jump through to get to the closing table. But technically, what we do at application, at that pre-approval, is we count all of your debts and we count all of your income. And through the home purchase, through the closing, when you get the keys to that house, we would love for those 2 things to not change: your debts and your income. Now, obviously, income can go up. That'd be great. Debts can go down. That's okay too. But we don't want the opposite of those things to happen. So, for my person, he's selling a house and he's buying a house, and it's all happening on the same day. And he had to fix up the one he's selling, and got talked into a credit card at Lowe's, or however they sell you. They're pretty good at selling you credit cards at Lowe's, and it worked out. It's just he's going to have to get us all the documentation on that line of credit. We're going to add it to the debt ratio, add it to the credit, jump through a couple extra hoops, but But yes, perfect world, don't open any lines of credit.
Wow. So after you do the pre-approval, after you have the consultation on don't open up any new lines of credit, you're kind of, as a lender, you're kind of at a standstill, and the consumer, the borrower, the buyer, at that point, they need to go contract a home for the next steps. Does that sound accurate?
That's you. Yeah, go get them. Go to the mall, right? Find the great house, make an offer on a house, and negotiate with the seller. But that's your court, Josh. Yeah, for us, we've checked your credit. We've looked at some income and asset documents. You've got a letter in your hand that says I'm good to go buy a house. We want you to go buy a house.
If the consumer has any questions, Tom, what's the best number for them to reach out to you at?
Call us. We got a new phone system and it didn't work for a little bit, but everything works great right now. Call us at 405-751-3800.
That Tom said that number is 405-751-3800. Next step, after they bring you a contract, then you guys look at it and then you do disclosures. What are disclosures? Is that right? Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
No, so usually what will happen is we'll get the contract, we'll review it, we call the buyer, we go through it with them, we confirm some numbers with them, and that could be we're confirming down payment, we're confirming rate, we're confirming some monthly payment, we're just confirming closing date, we confirm everything, and then at that point we send a big package of disclosures. It feels like it grows, you add one document to it every week. That's exaggerating, but it does feel like a big package of documents. It's probably 40 pages, and I tell people about 10 of them are important. About 30 of them are just a bunch of stuff that we're covering ourselves, title companies covering themselves, agents are covering themselves, everybody's just kind of covering themselves. But the important ones for me would be the loan documents, knowing what your monthly payment is, knowing what your cash at the table is going to be, and then, yeah, the disclosure stuff of it is a lot of compliance stuff.
Guys, I was up late doing a lot of work last night, and I've been trying to cut back on coffee. So please forgive me for yawning. I'm so sorry about that, guys. If you're enjoying today's video, I'm sorry, Tom. Sorry.
No.
If you're enjoying today's video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Share it with any of your friends who are thinking about getting a home loan in the Piedmont, Oklahoma metro area. We want to make sure they're getting this amazing information from Tom too. So once the disclosures are done, then the lender, you start verifying docs. Like they've got to provide more documentation than on the approval, or are they just providing documentation that they said on the approval? What is that?
It's all timing related, so it really depends on timing. Ideally, you called us and you went through the pre-approval and we got your pay stubs or we got your bank statement, and that could have been May 1st. Now, if you find a house on May 15th, I don't really need to update your documents. So the timing of when you pre-qualified versus when you find a house is important. If it goes a couple of months, then we will get updated documents, updated pay stubs, updated bank statements. Self-employed, you update documents as well. So we will update documents, and then we will order the appraisal. So we need you to sign when we send out disclosures. One of those disclosures says intent to proceed. Once your signature's on the intent to proceed, we can order the appraisal.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, because an appraisal, that's an expense, and so you wouldn't want to pay that money if there was something hung up in the disclosures. So
correct.
Yeah. And that appraiser, Tom, you have to order that through an appraisal ordering system nowadays. Since 2008. These aren't your buddies. These are through a third party entity. Is that right?
Absolutely. I love our appraisal process at Gateway Mortgage. We do it a little bit differently, where we've got previous appraisers review the appraisals that we receive. So most companies and underwriter will review that. At Gateway, we've got previous appraisers reviewing it. It really helps us. And then, yes, it is ordered through an AMC, an appraisal management company. Let's say we get the order on a Monday, we send it out on Monday afternoon, 10 to 12, however many people are on our panel at that point, we'll pick it up. And they'll say right now, ballpark would be $600 for an appraisal in Piedmont, Oklahoma, and the turn time is 10 days. So, we order it today, they'll say, sure, we'll get it back to you in 10 days. So that's kind of how the appraisal process will work. One of them will pick it up and it's assigned to that person. They get 10 days to get us the report.
Awesome. Awesome. And so once this is going through the loan process, guys, so you have a better understanding of the loan process. So once you're through all these steps that we've discussed so far and the appraisal is back, is that when everything is submitted again, or has everything already been submitted and now we're just submitting the appraisal for the final underwriting approval?
Again, that we're going to go back to that pre-approval process. And if you were submitted at the pre-approval process, then we don't submit again until we get appraisal and title. In some cases, you aren't submitted to underwriting at the pre-approval process. So we wait till you're under contract, then it's submitted. And that's when we would receive a conditional approval. Conditional approvals, hey, get us these 3 documents, get us the appraisal, get us the title work, and then we'll do final underwriting and get you a clear to close. Now,
And that, sorry. Oh, you go.
If you went through that initial underwriting at pre-approval, then you'll go under contract. We'll get the appraisal. We'll get the title work from the title company. Then we will go into final underwriting. That's the final review. Underwriter checks everything off and says, hey, you're good to close.
And that good to close thing, what does that mean? Does that basically
already
mean
time to get the keys to a house?
Okay. And does Gateway do they have to wait for the docs to do the funding, or is Gateway a bank that provides the money to the title company and then they just issue a funding number?
We issue a difference number. So the clear to close means it's a really good stage. I love making the clear to close phone call. Hey, buyer, we're clear to close. There can be some sort of fear around the underwriting, right? And so it's a chance to tell that buyer we are moving from the underwriting department over to the closing department. And so it can give them some relief of, okay, I'm out of the underwriting thing. This scary thing I don't really know a ton about, I'm out of it. It's a good phone call. You move over to clear to close. Your closing department starts working on all of the documents that you'll sign at closing. And let's say you clear to close on a Monday and you're going to close on Friday. We wire that money on Thursday night to the title company. You go sign all your documents, and then they send us a few of the important documents to show that everybody signed them properly. We issue a funding number. That's the conclusion to me, right? That's when everybody gets the keys. Yeah.
And even after the clear to close, like you'd mentioned, you might get that on a Monday and you might not be closing till Friday. Don't go finance a new lawnmower.
No.
Like don't go finance
Math is
a new entertainment center. Like
Yeah.
Don't open credit till it's closed, and maybe even the day after. Is that safer?
Yeah, that's safer. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, Tom. So the steps in getting a home loan is pre-approval, contract a house, call Tom if you have any questions at any time, do your disclosures, docs and appraisal, final underwriting, and clear to close. That's pretty straightforward, Tom. That's not as complicated as it seems sometimes.
We try to simplify it. We definitely try and make it easy on the home buyer.
That is so awesome. What's the best number for consumers to reach out to if they have any loan questions?
When it's working, it's 405. No, I'm just kidding. It's working great. It's 405-751-3800.
That is awesome. Any big sport events coming up that you're keeping an eye on? Any golfing events? Any bowling events? Anything like that?
No, there's a golf tournament coming to Tulsa. That new one, the offshoot of the PGA Tour, the Live Tour, is coming to Tulsa, so that's pretty close. No, playoffs in basketball, playoffs in hockey. I'm not paying attention to any of that, honestly. My kids have got tryouts coming up. That's the most interesting thing to me, sports wise.
Yeah, man. And they're keeping you busy. They're playing all different sports, right? So you're not going to one place at a time. You're having to go all over.
Cheer tryouts this weekend, soccer tryouts next weekend.
Wow. That's keeping you busy. Tom, as always, thank you so much for the information. The Piedmont, Oklahoma consumers really appreciate this. And anyone in the Oklahoma City metro area, you don't just have to be in Piedmont to give Tom a call. Give him a call, shoot him text, send him an email. He's got your answers to your loan questions when you're getting a loan in Oklahoma.
Josh, thank you.
Yes, sir.